welcome back to Pin Cut Sew. I am here today with a very fun Christmas ornament tutorial. I've talked about this kind of a lot of times before, but my favorite thing to gift my friends at Christmas is ornaments. And a lot of times I try to find one and I batch sew it so I can make a bunch at once. And this year I'm making these puffy Christmas trees. Isn't this cute? This is not a new design. If you were around in the 80s, 90s maybe, there was a lot of these floating around as like a big version of it. So it would go in the like a table decor or whatever. And sometimes, you know, you're just laying there and I was thinking about ornaments. I was like, oh, I should miniaturize that tree idea and make it an ornament. These are super simple to make. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. I think that's all I have to say about it. So let's just get started. Okay, I was showing you in last week's video about my Christmas quilt over there that I had just taken all of my Christmas fabrics out of my drawer and I kind of fanned them out. They're a little bit messy right now, but fanning them out on my table has really helped me just be able to see and use what I have, because I'm really trying to use up some of my Christmas fabrics this season. So part of my use it or lose it, I'm trying to fit these projects into that goal of using up my Christmas fabric. So having them out, fanned out like this is really helping me to do that. Okay, these trees are actually very simple. So all you need to do, you can go over to my website and get the free tree template pattern. So I'm just gonna put this on there. It's not a full tutorial or anything, but it will have the pattern piece so that you can, I mean, mine is scrap paper. Yours will look nicer, I promise. So that you don't have to draw the tree yourself. Sometimes I agonize for patterns, like the little bats I had made. It took me like 6 tries to get that pattern piece right, but this I whacked out on the first try and it was perfect. So for one tree, you need 4 pieces of fabric. So I cut out, I'm making 10, well I already made 1, so I'm making 11 total. And so I just paired up and cut out fabrics. It's definitely more fun if you use 2 or 4 fabrics per tree. And this one I used 2. So they're kind of alternating. And then on some of these I cut out 4 that coordinate. I just cut out 40 fabrics, 40 trees, and then I mix and match them to where they looked nice. So some of them like this, they'll have 2 of the same. And then some of them like this are gonna be all different. So, but you need 4 per tree. And then you just want to, I'll make this tree for this example. You just want to pair them up right sides together and we're going to sew them. I don't even place pins in mine, but you can if you want to. We're just going to sew them in a 1/4 inch seam. Now, things with little corners like this, it's easy to get frustrated because when you turn with your needle down and turn the point, if you're too close to the edge, your needle just pushes the fabric in and it's like hard to get going again when you go this way. I don't know, I'm sure you've experienced that and it can be annoying. But the farther away you stay from that actual corner, the easier it is. I also like to lower my stitch length to 2 just to help it turn right side out nicer. Getting around small curves can be easier when you lower your stitch length. So I'm going to stitch 2 pairs or 1 pair and I'm gonna leave open down here at the bottom part. Okay, here are my trees. The next step is a very important one. You need to trim all of these corners, snip across the corner, and trim a little bit of the adjoining seam allowance. And the same with the top. Without snipping through the stitching. Okay, and then in all of these inside corners, we're going to snip to the stitching, right up to it. And then for these sort of curves, inward curves, we need to cut some snips also. All of this helps this to turn right side out nice and neatly. Oopsie. Okay, now we're ready to turn them right side out. My little chopstick. Okay, so I turned them both right side out, and now I'm going to go press them flat, and I'm going to press this seam, these raw edges in as if I had sewn them, so that it's straight across the bottom like this. You can see I can do a better job poking this corner out. Okay, so now it looks like this. All right, so now I have 2 trees, both with the bottom edges pressed under, but I'm not gonna sew them closed yet. So now I'm going to place them one on top of the other, and I wanna pay attention to what fabrics I want where. So since these 2 fabrics are the same, I don't wanna place them right sides together. I mean, I could and it would be fine, but when I open this up, that has the same fabric, see? And then this side will of course be the same, because it has to be. Well, I guess I could do that, because then every side would be the same. That might be kind of cool too. But I could put them like this, and then I have like more of an alternating design. But I think I like the idea of doing them face to face for this one. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that the bottom edge stays turned under. I'm gonna stack them one on top of the other. And I'm going to use my heat soluble marking pen. I'm missing all my supplies. And I'm going to, that's not long enough, mark the center. There we go. I'm just gonna mark it straight down the middle, like so. Stick some pins in it, at least one, maybe one down here. And I'm just gonna go sew through all layers. I like to start at the bottom because machines can be finicky if you're starting with a bulky point at the top. So I'm gonna start here and go down this way. And now you can see I have this little 3D tree shape. And I have 4 openings in the bottom so that each section can be stuffed. Let me go find my hemostats. I have hemostats because stuffing tiny things like this is kind of a huge pain without them. These make it so much easier. They're so inexpensive. You can just go buy. And I've had these for I think like 20 some years. It's been forever. So first shove some stuffing into the top and then keep stuffing it all the way down. And you're gonna do that with all 4 sections. Okay, so here is my stuffed tree, and now I just have to sew the bottom openings closed. So I know they look like they're in a star shape, but you can sew across this line first and then break your thread and cross again across that line. The last step is to attach a ribbon. If you have little fuzzies poking out, you can take those off the best you can. Okay, the last step is to attach a ribbon and a pom-pom. The pom-pom is of course optional, but I thought it was super cute. There's also, you could attach mini pom-poms to each branch if you wanted. Since I'm making so many, I'm not gonna put myself through that, but it would be really cute. And also I think a wooden bead in a color would be fun. But I'm gonna stick with the pom-poms because I have them. So I like this really skinny ribbon. It comes even skinnier, but they were out when I went looking. So I'm gonna cut kind of a long length and do my best to thread it through this needle. Sometimes if you cut the ribbon end at an angle, that helps you get it through, but that went through okay. And then I'm just going to stick it through the top. Sometimes pliers are helpful to get it through. There we go, it's not always that hard. And then I'm gonna get my pom-pom. Bought these pom-poms, they were called carpet pom-poms because I liked the colors better. But they kind of like, stuff comes out of them. I'll show you what I mean, hold on. I'm just going to thread this through the pom-pom. See how little threads start coming out? I just pulled them off and it was fine. Okay, so I'm gonna remove my needle from that side. I'm going to re-thread my needle onto this side and also thread it through the pom-pom. Oh, I lost track of which end was, there we go. Okay, I can take my needle off. I'm just gonna pull these out till it looks nice. There we go. And just pull my ribbons even, or trim, and tie a knot. And then trim these. This one turned out so cute. Okay, so let me give you some tips if you want to batch sew these trees. So you can see here that I did all my cutting at the same time. Let me just clean up a tad first. Okay, so I already matched up all my fabrics, and these I've already sewn. So I sewed these 2 trees together, and then I pinned them together so I don't lose track of which pairs go with which. So I'm going to sew all these trees at the same time. Just gonna batch sew them. Here's one and here's one. It should not take more than probably 30 minutes. I only have 2, 3, 4, 6 left, so that's 12 total. And then I'm going to take all of these with me to the TV room, and while I watch football this weekend, that's when I'm going to do all the trimming, and then I'll do all the stuffing, or I'll turn them right side out and then I'll stuff them all, and then I will do the hand sewing portion. Usually with ornaments, there always is some degree of hand sewing. So put them in a bin, keep them next to your chair, your spot in your TV room or living room or whatever, and just work on them throughout the season. I hope you like this project, and if you make some, you'll have to show me. You can tag me on Instagram or whatever. Send me an email. And I will be back very soon next week with the, let me get it and I'll show you. This is what we're making next week. These fabric baby books, aren't they the cutest? So this will be next week's tutorial. And I will, oh, before I go, I actually also have a few other ornament patterns in my shop. The most popular one by far is for the mice that I made last year. Super cute. And then I also have like a little coffee shop collection of ornaments. And I have a free pattern for a snow globe ornament on my blog. So I will link you to all those things too. Have a good one. Bye.